Pumunta si Marcos Jr. sa ASEAN Summit para mag-provoke. Totoo yun. Pero biro. Pumunta siya sa ASEAN Summit para akayin yung mga ASEAN members na magkaroon tayo ng isang batas laban sa China. Oo. Panoorin nyo to.
To accelerate the adoption of a legally binding code of conduct in the South China Sea. This is to safeguard maritime rights, promote stability, and prevent miscalculations at sea. Geopolitical tensions, unexpected trade barriers, and the unprecedented impact of climate change have the potential to disrupt our communities, supply chains, and remove our hard-earned progress. Yet, by working together, strengthening our institutions, and building the resilience and capacities of our people, we can better navigate this increasingly uncertain future.
Statement comes just days after the Philippines again condemned China's use of water cannons against a...
Alam niyo ba ASEAN last year, ganyan din ang hinihiling ni Marcos Jr. sa mga ASEAN members. Yung last year na ASEAN Summit, ganyan din ang kanyang hinihiling. Magkaroon ng batas legally binding sa conduct of the sea. Ngayon, ganyan pa rin ang kanyang sinasabi. Plus, yung climate change. Alam nyo ba na siya lang ang bukod tanging kakaiba? I-insert ng mga kung anong agenda na yan. Oo, I mean, Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam, meron silang parehas din na claim dyan sa South China Sea. Pero ASEAN Summit, ano ba yung purpose at objective ng ASEAN Summit? Ayan po, napakalinaw po. Ayan, mutual respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and national identity of all the nations. Okay, mutual yan. Hindi ibig sabihin, kasi kung ang Vietnam, Indonesia, sila meron din silang maritime rights, meron din silang dispute dyan sa South China Sea. Hindi man sila kagaya ng ginagawa ng Marcos Jr. na ito na talagang kalaban. Maalala ninyo ang kanyang sinabi?
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Oh. Hindi ganyan yung ASEAN members. Na wala sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China. Eh wala na tayong mga turistang pumupuntang inchik sa Pilipinas kasi talagang terrorized na ang mga China sa Pilipinas. Ay, tingnan nyo. Ganyan ba? Oh.
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Sip-sip sa China. O, anong sabi ni Anwar, chairperson ng ASEAN Summit ngayon? O, tingnan nyo, very friendly pa rin.
You see, our focus for ASEAN would include, of course, political stability, effective collaboration between countries, even dealing with somewhat more precarious, slightly contentious issue.
Well, Prime Minister Anwar, China and ASEAN announced a substantial conclusion of the negotiations on the version 3.0 FTA. How will the country facilitate the timely signing of this upgraded protocol?
We have now accelerated the process. Meetings among officials is ongoing, and we are quite confident that we could cement that sort of understanding by next year. You see, we happen to be, other than ASEAN, we're also the country coordinator between ASEAN and China.
Yes.
So we will do whatever is necessary, not only to facilitate, but to accelerate the process. And I think, therefore, I am, quite optimistic.
So, itong mga ASEAN members, no, sa kanila, laging kadikit kasama ang China. Lalong-lalo na ngayon na may tariff imposed ang US, mas lalong nagiging, alam mo yun, legally binding sila sa relationship to each other. Pero itong ASEAN Summit ngayon, tatlo yan ASEAN Summit. ASEAN GCC, yung kasama yung Gulf, no? Yung Gulf countries. Tapos yung ASEAN China. You could imagine, kasama pa rin ng China. Bakit kapitbahay natin? Pero anong sabi ni Marcos?
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China. Na
Hindi lang yan. Dito sa send-off, bago lumipad si Marcos, nag-speech siya. Anong sabi niya? Pagdating ko ng Malaysia, ito yung sasabihin ko. I-impose pa rin natin yung legally binding. Akayin ko yung mga ASEAN members natin para mag-impose tayo by 2026 ng Code of Conduct of the Sea. At ito pa, sa 2026, ang mag-chair or ang mag-host ng summit, Pilipinas. So dito natin makikita, no, kung isasama ni Marcos Jr. ang China. Kasi kung hindi na siya, talagang black sheep siya kung hindi niya isasama ang China. Kasi ang ASEAN countries, bukod sa Pilipinas, most of them, majority of them, ay gusto pa rin nila to have a trade with China. Alam nyo, grabe, pumunta kayo sa China, yung economy ng China ngayon, sa electric cars. Number 1 na sila ngayon sa electric cars. Lahat ng mga economic benefits nasa China na. Hay nako. Ito, mga ibang bansa like Vietnam, anong sabi nila?
China cementing its trade ties with a Southeast Asian ally as it deals with a deepening trade war with the US. President Xi Jinping's 2-day state visit to Vietnam follows a broader 3-nation tour of the region. A 21 cannon salute greeted the Chinese leader at the presidential palace as he walked alongside his Vietnamese counterpart, To Lam. Mr. Xi had said he was looking to draw up what he calls a China-Vietnam community with a shared future. This is President Xi.
Nakita nyo ba na merong dispute din ang Vietnam? May sea dispute din ang Vietnam with China. Pero nakita ninyo ang relationship pa rin nila? That's the reason why nakita ninyo may territorial na agawan din ang China at Vietnam. Pero nakikita ninyo, nagkakaroon pa rin sila ng economic cooperation. At wala tayong nababalitaan na meron silang mga tension dyan sa South China Sea. Wala yung kagaya ng, Philippines, US, PCG, blah blah blah, binangga ng China. Walang mga ganun. Kasi nagko-cooperate ang dalawang bansa. Tayo, anong sabi ni Marcos?
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Ayan, yan ang sabi ni Marcos. Aside from Vietnam, ano pa? Yan, tignan natin yung iba. Kasi very positive yung iba
Asia took up the
Pilipinas
chairmanship
lang
of
talaga
ASEAN
hindi.
at the start of the year. The biggest issue facing the regional bloc was the likely fallout from a trade war between China and the then incoming administration of US President Donald Trump. 4 months on, ASEAN itself is in the crosshairs of Trump's tariffs.
The uncertainty is very high actually. We are still not very certain of whether this tariff will stay on or it's going to be lifted. As you can see, Donald Trump, every week there's news coming up. Yeah? So this is where it's going to be a big challenge for the entire supply chain.
Previous summits have been marred by tensions about China's expanding influence, especially in the South China Sea. But ASEAN members now seem to favour collaboration in the face of their shared tariff burden.
I would say that
may collaboration pa rin sa China. Kahit na ganyan.
to the Chinese, they maybe want to look into other markets. And this would give us an opportunity as well to work with the Chinese manufacturers to explore other untapped markets by the Chinese. And I'm talking about the Middle East, I'm talking about Turkey.
As ASEAN now looks to deepen ties with its biggest trading partner, China, so it's also looking to strengthen links with other blocs in Europe, the Middle East and other parts of Asia, which are also trying to navigate the turbulence created by the Trump administration. The number and seniority of delegations from those locations seems to indicate a heightened interest in forging closer ties with Southeast Asia.
The importance and the strategic relevance of ASEAN have increased tremendously over the last 3 months. ASEAN has what is known as the convener power. As and when ASEAN would like to enlist and solicit all the major powers to come to this part of the world.
This summit coinciding with an upending of the system of global trade that could see ASEAN emerging with a greater international reach. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.
China pa rin. Wala tayong magagawa kundi China pa rin. Sa lahat ng yan, China.
And the 90-day is certainly very much valuable time, but 90-day is not long enough. So they should try their very best to seek a permanent solution. And I think the U.S.-China negotiation and the outcome also indicates that when people sit down and discuss the issues in a serene and calm manner, problems could be hopefully solved. So ASEAN countries facing the external shock certainly understand how important it is for ASEAN countries to work together among themselves and with the rest of the world. I think in the run up to the ASEAN summit and over the last couple of months, ASEAN countries, China and others are already braced for a very tough time. The geopolitical wind has been shifting. And
tignan ninyo yan. 3 blocks. Nagsama-sama ang GCC, Gulf War. Gulf War yan. Ito, 2.1 trillion ang pera nila. China, 17.8 trillion tumataginting. ASEAN, little bit larger, bigger than the GCC, 3.8 trillion. Pag pinagsama mo yung tatlo na yan, ang lalakas niyan. Pero si Marcos Jr., ang Pilipinas, bukod tangi na himod puwet sa Amerika. Well, sa bagay, nung panahon ni Biden yun. Pero syempre, andun pa rin yan yung remnants ni Biden. Nandyan pa rin sa US. Nandun pa rin. Kaya hindi maganda yung mga binitaw-bitawan ni Marcos na kagaya nito.
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Yung mga bitaw mo na ganyan, kahit yung pagpunta mo sa ASEAN na yan, legally blinding code of China, code of the sea, China, puro ka na lang China. Kaya wala talaga itong si Marcos.
For the last couple of months already, the countries are preparing for Plan B, and they cannot just follow the traditional pattern of trade relations and investment. So they have to reconsider the approach. With regard to slowing down of the U.S. economy, there are obvious signs. And if the policies adjust somewhat, probably they can reverse the trend. If not, and if the war of tariff continues, it will be very much damaging for the U.S. economy. Certainly, it will be having impact on the Chinese economy or the ASEAN countries. But you see, China has already been doing a lot of things to stimulate domestic economy, stimulate consumption, and also encourage the private sector to invest more and to be more innovative. So countries are prepared.
Okay. Dito naman, tignan natin to.
Extension of the existing bilateral relationship to bring it all together.
Question is, what brings the three parties, yung GCC, yung ASEAN, at saka yung China?
There's also an important historic dimension to this, Lucian, and that is that these relationships, in a sense, speak to a world that existed over 1,000 years ago when China and Malaysia in particular were pivotal to trade relationships with the countries or the civilizations of the Gulf state. And in some regards...
Pati Pilipinas! Ang haba ng relasyon natin sa China. Pero itong si Marcos, nabangag. Ewan ko nangyari dito.
Now is a 21st century version of those sorts of relationships that blossomed during the Song and the Tang dynasty. This is an exciting time for all parties involved because this really says that together they are able to trade, to exchange the goods and services that they all need from each other, and to help each other achieve their own ambitions for economic vitality.
Yun ang importante para sa ekonomiya natin. Pero anong sabi ni Marcos ulit?
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Black sheep ka kasi. Kaya nga pagdating sa eto, tingnan ninyo nung panahon ni PRRD, may proyekto talaga. Meron na pag-usapan na ang China at ng Pilipinas. Panoorin nyo to.
China has poured billions of dollars into infrastructure projects across Southeast Asia. Although that building is welcomed by some, perceptions are rather more mixed. CNN explores China's regional influence through its infrastructure drive.
53-year-old Hanani Katahum has been visiting this construction site regularly over the past few years to check on the progress of the terrace house allocated to his family. In 2018, some 20 families on the southern Philippine island of Mindanao were asked to relocate as part of the government's plans to build a China-funded railway. Then,
yung Mindanao Railway to under PRRD. Malapit na sanang ikasa, pero anong ginawa ni Marcos? In-stop niya.
Stopped work in preparation for the move. That railway. Then, farmers stopped work in preparation for the move, and residents were promised compensation for their land. 7 years later, the construction on the railway has yet to start.
7 years later, yung 1 year doon kay Marcos, na-stop na.
Due to tensions between China and the Philippines.
Malaking epekto yun kasi yung karamihan sa amin dito, mahirap lang po naalaga ng mga hayop, ganyan. Tapos na-stop yun. Sa daily list ng mga tao dito, talagang nahinto yun. Tapos nahirapan. Yung iba, umutang na nga kasi umasa na bayaran sila.
Many major Belt and Road projects in the Philippines have been abandoned due to territorial disputes between Manila and Beijing in the South China Sea. The Philippines is one of several Southeast Asian countries that have struck deals with China to develop infrastructure over the past.
Ayan no, diba? Yan yung China-Philippines deal din yan. Yung bridge na yan. Hindi lang yan, napakarami na. Kaya lang yung Mindanao Railway, na-stop yun. Anong sabi ni Marcos Jr.? Kukuha tayo ng supports from America. Natapos na ang termino ni Biden, wala pa rin.
Decade. These projects are funded by low-interest loans under the Belt and Road Initiative, which has surpassed $1 trillion in engagement. But opinions of the deals are divided. Some say countries can use advanced Chinese technology to get things done.
Ayan, ito, yung Panggilbay na yan. Di ba natapos yan?
Others
natapos yan, tapos credit grab naman.
The initiative can trap poorer nations into debt when projects are scaled back or even abandoned. Former Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio.
Iwala kayo kay Carpio. Sabi nila debt trap daw yan, Silk Road debt trap. Pero nakita ninyo ba yung pinagpatayo ng mga infrastructures ng China sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo? Aba, ang ganda ng kanilang mga lugar ngayon. Tayo, anyari.
Who represented the Philippines in maritime negotiations with China feels that Beijing was dangling loans for leverage on territorial disputes.
Well, I don't think China really intended to give us the loans because even during the time of President Duterte, they never gave us the loans. I mean, they dangled all of these loans to Duterte, $24 billion in exchange for Duterte being very soft on China.
True, ang dami nang natapos under Duterte.
On the South China Sea.
But China has maintained that the Belt and
Road... na lang talaga, di ba? Diyan na nag-ano si VP Sara sinuportahan si Marcos for the hope na may continuation dun sa mga big ticket projects na naumpisan na ni PRRD.
The initiative is not about debt trap diplomacy. President Xi Jinping has said the Belt and Road Initiative aims to build a road of peace, prosperity, openness, green development, and innovation, and a road that brings together different civilizations. Still, the Philippines is looking for other sources to fund its infrastructure projects.
Saan? Saan? Saan yung mga kano?
The Philippine government is now talking with the United States, talking with Japan, talking with European countries, and other like-minded states.
Saan?
Okay, and mostly Western states. But they are also taking them too slow.
Wala! Unahin pa nila yung EDCA. Ano ka ba?
Implement because of some procedural concerns.
Oh, ito fake news si Carpio. Yan, hindi ba yan China Aid Project? Tapos na yung Binondo Intramuros na ginagamit ng Pilipino ngayon?
I don't think Marcos Jr. will be able to accomplish any major infrastructure projects under his administration because his term is ending in 2028.
Anong sabi? Anong sabi mo?
Concerns. I don't think Marcos Jr. will be able to accomplish any major infrastructure projects under his administration because his term is ending in 2028.
Nako!
Despite the territorial disputes, some Filipinos are keen for the government to return to the negotiating table with China.
Isa na ako doon. Marami kami na gusto ng ganun. Kasi tayo po na pag-iiwanan na, guys. Sabi nila, pwede naman ng Amerika, Western, Japan, o what? Nasaan? Infrastructure projects under Marcos administration is going nowhere.
And break the current stalemate.
Kaya nga dito, kung mapapansin nyo dito, eto, tingnan nyo to, napansin ko talaga dito, nagpapapansin si Marcos Jr. Hindi siya pinapansin dito. Tingnan nyo, ito.
The next 2 decades.
Yan
An overall infrastructure
tumingin
commitment
siya doon sa babae, nag-smile siya, hindi naman siya kinakausap.
of shared value.
Dito, dumating si Marcos Jr. Tumabi siya sa chicks. Tingnan. Yan, umakya. Ayan yan. Ito, tignan nyo si, pangalan nito? Si Anwar. Si Anwar yan, di ba? Hindi siya nakatingin sa kay Marcos. Si Marcos, parang, kausapin mo ko. Ayan. Tapos itong babae at saka itong si, ano to? Saan to? Anong country na to? Timor-Leste or Mongolia. Tingnan ninyo, silang dalawa nag-uusap. Ito, walang kausap. Nakatingin dito. In the hope na kausapin siya. Tingnan nyo. Play natin, sabay ngiwi. Yan. Ayan. Okay? Walang gustong kumausap sa kanya. Kasi alam nila na anti-China siya. Tingnan. Tumitingin siya sa babae but the girl is not looking at him. See? Nakasmile siya. Sabi niya, Pero the girl is talagang nakakonsentrate siya dito sa kausap niya. Tapos si Marcos parang, tingnan niyo si Anwar, doon siya nakatingin. Parang tatlo lang kami dito, pwede ba? Malis ka dyan, chupi, sabi. Kasi hindi siya tinitignan eh. Wala kasing tropa itong si Marcos Jr. dyan, tingnan nyo. Tatlo silang deliberately looking at each other. Tapos yung isa doon na itsapuera. Tingnan nyo. Kawawa. Nakakahiya. Sabay, siyempre wala siyang magawa. Smile. Parang alam mo yung kino-corner niya itong si Anwar para mag-usap sila. Siyempre siya yung host eh. Hindi naman pwedeng pahiyain niya si Marcos, di ba? Ayan. Smile. Itong dalawa talagang with intent yung kanilang pag-uusap. Ayan. Ano kayang pinagsasabi nito si Marcos? Sabay ngiwi. Tingnan nyo. Sabay ngiwi.
Government and heads of state of ASEAN.
Sabay ngiwi. Ayan.
And each leader is being warmly welcomed by the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Tapos itong si Anwar, tingin naman ulit dito.
Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim at the Kuala Lumpur Convention.
Sabay ngiwi. Nakakaya ka. Ngiwi ka sa harap ng mga leaders din. Ngiwi. Bubble gum.
Sets the stage for the official signing ceremony of the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2045, our shared future, a historic milestone symbolizing unity.
Gusto niyang tumingin sa babae. Crush niya ata.
Shared vision and cooperation among the state members.
May papansin ba? Papansin. Tingnan mo, lumapit pa siya sa babae. Ayan, lumapit. Lumapit talaga gusto sigurong sagiin yung babae. Sabay tingin. Pero yung babae hindi tumitingin. Di ba tayo, pag halimbawa tinignan, katitignan mo din kasi parang baka catching the attention ba? Pero never tumingin yung babae. Tingnan niyo. Ito talagang gusto niyang kausapin Tumingin, nag-smile, hindi siya tumingin. Nag-smile siya pero wala talaga. Walang gustong kumausap sa kanya. Tingnan nyo. Tingnan mo si Anwar, doon siya nakatingin. Ito din, kausap silang ganun. Ito lang. Tingnan nyo itong si Timor-Leste. Yan hindi siya, wala talaga siyang amor na kausapin ito. Ay.
The unity.
Naghahanap ng kausap
right now, Prime Minister.
Tingnan mo, nagsasalita siya pero hindi naman hinaharap po. Tingnan mo. Sino kang kausap mo? Hangin?
And right now, Prime Minister
Kamalikod.
Anwar Ibrahim engaged in conversation with His Majesty Sultan of Brunei. And we can see now this informal exchange highlights the close personal relationship and strong diplomatic ties.
Ayan, kahit ito umakyat nga hindi talaga. Sila dito, tatlo sila. Tatlo sila dyan. Nagtitinginan, nag-smile siya. Kunwari may kausap, lumapit dun sa sabay niwi. Sabay niwi. Yan, sabay niwi. Niwi.
As the camera lens captures this momentum assembly of leadership.
Kakaya.
It frames the ASEAN's promise to the people.
Si girl, tumalikod na. Palapit dun sa babae. Ayan, palayo ng palayo. Tapos ang layo na nila.
All that together, we are stronger. And together, we will rise.
Totoo, promise. Ang lapit na niya dun kay babae.
Together.
Lagot ka kay Lisa niyan.
ASEAN.
Natin forward natin.
Collaboration.
As in, kakahiya. Kaya kang presidente ka. Diyos mio, Marimarca.
And mutual Malaysia's for
na ba yun?
Saudi Arabia economy with strong Gulf ties. The focus marks
Malaysia's dedication to excellence and its role as a responsible
in moments like this.
Cooperation.
Natin wala talaga pumapansin sa kanya as in, walang umaalalay.
Will define the narrative of ASEAN's leadership in the years to come.
Tingnan mo, inaalalay niya. Alam mo yun? Siya wala. Parang nobody. Not existing.
And now, the heads of state and government of ASEAN member states.
Lakas ang loob mo pang tumubi dyan sa Malaysian Prime Minister
Together with the head of government of Timor-Leste.
Ay, President
being ushered to the foyer of Plenary Hall for a group photo with the eminent persons of the high-level task force on ASEAN Communities Post 2025
sanitizer kayo pagkatapos
This photograph captures the regional leadership united in vision, standing alongside the architects of ASEAN's future roadmap.
Umalis si Malaysian President.
Not each leader standing before us represents a sovereign nation, each with its own language, culture.
I mean, alam nyo, hindi ko masisisi itong mga ASEAN leaders na ito kasi nga alam nila yan they're watching us. Tinitingnan nila tayo. At alam nila kung anong position meron itong si Marcos. Ayun panira kumbaga sa business ba?
Wala rin sa kanila ang sip-sip sa China.
Alam nila yan. Kaya ganyan tayo talaga. Kawawa. Tingnan natin. Bukas ata yun. If I'm not mistaken. Bukas, mamaya. Yung kasama na yung China. ASEAN China Summit. Tingnan natin. Baka mamaya nga barahin na naman ito si Marcos Jr. Maalala ninyo last year binara siya ng isang general ng China na hindi siya tumatalima sa ASEAN neutrality at ASEAN centrality, kung saan peaceful negotiation, maritime peace. Etong si Marcos Jr. wala. Wala talaga.